Hello, beautiful sisters. So we're back for our second conversation in the Sitting with Sisters series. Sorry about that. Yeah, welcome. Hi Sherry, thanks for joining. Yes, so our second conversation in the Sitting with Sisters series, and I want to open this beautiful sacred time by acknowledging the traditional caretakers of this land that I'm on, Guringai country, and also wanting to acknowledge the traditional caretakers of the land in all the places where you, my sisters, are joining. So hi Sherry, I just actually, I guess I kind of create the space. Hi Rachel. Yeah, I create the space before, I guess, starting this. Again, I've got my beautiful candle with my beautiful baby boy on it to bring him into the space. He's always with me anyway. Yeah, but today I actually had a little bit of a sing and a dance with my puppy, and yeah, just got so strongly that like this feeling of this is so important. The song, which I'll share on the page tomorrow, but it was Mother Gaia, and it's just, sisters, it's time for us to step up, to speak up, to get out there, to share the beautiful wisdom that we hold, to connect. Had an amazing conversation with another amazing woman, Avalon Danesh out there, does the most amazing work. So I highly recommend checking her out. And yeah, she was holding a circle that I was a part of, and we're just talking about like the old stuff of the women, of women being in competition and of shrinking and seeing other women, oh, they're so amazing, I couldn't possibly. That time's over. That is just excuses. It keeps us small and it keeps us from making a change when this world needs it. The people in this world need it. This beautiful planet needs it. It's time for us to stop making excuses and to step up and step out and shine our lights and let our voices be heard and make a beautiful, beautiful difference out in the world. It's us, the women of this world, the women that are raising the children. It's us that needs to make a difference. So again, I'm putting it out there. I do have quite a few beautiful women that are already lined up for future conversations, but if you're feeling called, I know it's scary, but take the plunge and please join me. We need to hear your voice and you have something to share. So just wanted to have that little rant there. Now I've done that. Yeah, for those of you who don't know, I'm Megan. I'm from Inner World Village, and I created Inner World Village, well, with another dear sister, years ago, to be a space for connection and growth. And it's just evolved over time as I have, and is now really a space for women, for mothers. Hi Sherry, woo! Yeah, for mothers and mothers whose babies aren't in their arms, and for women who are going through challenging situations, who life-changing experiences, to help find themselves and rise again from that, and then find that place to stand and get that voice out there. So that's what part of this is about. So tonight I am feeling so privileged to have the beautiful Heidi going to join us. So I'm just going to cross my fingers. Hang on. Where is she? Trying to... I don't need to take up more space, Spirit. You can... Let's just have Heidi come and join us. I'm going to try and... find Heidi and have her join. Yeah, also knowing that Heidi's in Bali. I'm not quite sure exactly where in Bali she is. So yeah, we'll just give her a moment. But Heidi is joining us today to speak about being real and raw. And there she is. So we just need to hope. Oh. Hang on, something's happening. Sorry. Technology, don't you love it? So just in case, Heidi, can you just check that your video and microphone are enabled in your Facebook settings, under settings, please. Yeah, we need you on your Facebook app and in your Facebook settings. Technology. And again, this is a, I know that this has been one of the things that I think in creating this and talking to women about it, this liveness, but this is part of the real. So yeah, Heidi, if you're seeing me, I know this is all part of the being real. You know, this stuff happens. And we can record the video, we can have the makeup and have the hair and have the setting all perfect, and we can record it. But there's a level of just that, yeah, I guess that, the unreal. The playing the game, and there's no time for games. It is really about being real, being raw, and showing up in whatever level, in every layer that we come with. So I'm just, okay, Heidi, we're trying again. Yeah, Heidi, I can't see that you've got your... Oh, she's disappeared again. So I'm going to just start to share a little bit about, I guess for me, yeah, the real and raw, what that is for me. Heidi's there again, but I can't... Oh, and disappeared again. Yeah, so... that real and raw was there for me today, which is something that it was something I was a bit concerned about this morning, just feeling raw, feeling really, and I think that rawness, like I was kind of like, raw is a word that I could use for that feeling that I had, and then I was sort of like, okay, so I could say raw, but what does that mean? What is this feeling that I've got? And there was this real, like it's a felt sense. It was a sense in my body of real vulnerability. Like, and I remember last week, Beata kind of talking about that, it being easy to show up. And to kind of be in your center and stand your sacred ground when you're... Heidi, the video is not there. Why is it? No, Heidi can't join a live video. Still not there. Oh. This is so weird that Beata last week, it wouldn't work. This week, no problem if I wanted to have Beata join. And Heidi this week was there, and now this week, it's just not working right now. So we can hope that Heidi is able to join us. Yeah, so that feeling, that rawness really being that vulnerability and being, yeah, having some of those feelings that do start to put me a bit off center. Yeah, I think there was, I guess when I start to have some of my grief come up, I can feel a little bit more more vulnerable and a bit more off center. And also when, yeah, I think thinking about tonight and showing up to this talk again. Ah, hang on, I can see a video on that. Come on, the beautiful Heidi. And my dog, if you can hear a noise in the background, it's my dog. He's chewing. So, yeah, he just likes to be a part of these videos. So hopefully you can hear me over the sound of his chewing. Yeah, so I think the vulnerability in showing up to this conversation tonight was having me, yeah, in that rawness. I think also I was going into a meeting today where I had to, yeah, lay out the work that I've been doing for the possibility of it being, of some money going towards it. Just going to try Heidi again. So hopefully to be able to accept, it is inviting. Yeah, so showing up and sharing.
Oh my God.
Hello, beautiful woman.
Oh my God, that was so frustrating. I'm so sorry. I was sitting here and I was all positioned to be here like half an hour ago because I didn't want any kind of problems. But I'm on my laptop, so can you not do laptop?
No, it has to, you
right.
have to use phone. Any of you beautiful women that decide to join me, it's a Facebook app thing. They like to make it a little bit more challenging for us.
Oh, hi, Beata. Oh, okay, right. Well, Facebook 101, use your phone. Sorry to leave you hanging. I was there just going, let me in, let me in. Feeling all the feels of anxiety and nervousness.
Yeah, it's now something I'm realizing is part of this journey for some reason. Like I think, oh gosh, I need to stop talking and get somebody else in to fill that space, and then it's like, no, you've got a little bit longer to go. I'm like, okay.
You get what you need, even though it's not what you want, don't you? And you just, like you said, you got to step up, and you have that space there. And I really felt you when you came on. I could feel you, and I sat there and I was like, oh, Megan, I've got you. Like I kind of caught you, and because I totally resonate with that feeling as well, like stepping up to talk to people. And yeah, so Anyway, all in perfect, wonderful, messy, divine timing.
Yes. Well, would you like to introduce yourself? Tell us a bit about you.
Ah, God. Okay. So yeah. Hi, I'm Heidi, and my thing is be your own guru. And be your own guru is about connecting to your innate inner wisdom so that you can find all the answers that you need to follow your divine life purpose. So what I am super passionate about is reminding people to keep coming back in, keep coming back in, keep coming back in, because we can be so distracted by the bright, shiny things out there that we continually forget to keep coming back. And it's that simple. And when we do, and when we breathe and give space to ourselves, we always get what we need, and we always get the answers that we are searching for. Even if they're not immediately, they will unfold. So that's what I do. And that shows up in the form of day-to-day living, and stepping up into speaking with individuals on a one-on-one basis. And even recently I started doing, well, I've just done 2, but I did some talks out at the Bali Silent Retreat here, and that brought on a whole world of nerves and anxiety, but I knew that I had to do that because that's just part of this path of stepping up and finding my voice. And as you say, now is the time, and there is no other time right now. Gosh, I could jump on my soapbox and carry on with all the things I've heard about around those lines, but yeah, now.
Sorry, people are choosing to call me in the middle of these things that they know are happening. I never get phone calls, and now they're choosing to call when I'm doing this. So sorry about that. I'll have to just remind everyone again.
You've stepped up and you're this luminous light.
Yeah, so sorry. Yes, so here now, like, yeah, we kind of, yeah, the thing that when I kind of started this, you were absolutely there in my mind straight away. And what was there for me in talking to you about was this real and raw, being real and raw, because, yeah, following be your own guru and your journey, and just you being so real in that has been something that I've really admired and resonated with. And just, yeah, I don't know, I just love to hear about what that is for you and your experience of that.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you a million times. I think because for me, I've learned to have to be my own guru. My sort of path over the last sort of 15 years has seen me continue to have to re-educate myself on myself, because I was detached from myself for the whole of my life based on, you know, my childhood events. And so I had to rebuild that part, that connection to me, the language of me, energetically, emotionally, mentally, so that I had to come to know who I was and who I am in the world. I had to do it from scratch. And my message is one of following your own innate wisdom so that you can come to know yourself, and to remain true in that it's not some glorified, fancy, spiritual path that looks like Lululemon leggings and green juices and ecstatic dance parties. And I say that because I live in Ubud in Bali, which, you know, is renowned for being the Mecca of yoga. You were saying you didn't know where I live, and I live in Ubud, Bali. And it's the hub of spiritual seekers, you see them a dime and a dozen coming because they're on their path and they're coming to discover themselves. And I'm not saying that that's wrong. I've been there, done that, and I still go to dance parties. But it's walk in the mud, messy, gritty, shitty, rah! It's real, and you can't make that up. You can't intellectualize that. You can't spiritual bypass that. It's messy, and it's hard, and it's lonely, and as Nako Bear sings, it can be lonely, but it's the only road that we'll ever know. And that always comes up for me when I think about this paradox of being alone, walking on this path, and everybody else doing the same, right? The paradox of being alone and we're all doing it together. So I feel like part of my communications and my message is to make normal that it is hard, because for me, when I cracked, well, when we kind of joined our coaching afterwards. When I did my vision quest, I dropped into deep depression for a good 2.5 years. And back then, there weren't the crazy blogs, there wasn't social media, there wasn't any of this normalizing business. It was just like spiritual emergency. What the fuck is this? And I was alone, and I didn't know what to do. And we don't have to do it alone like that anymore, because there is this mass awakening, and people are normalizing it, not to make light of, well, not that's not the right word, not to make light, but just so that people can be supported whilst they transition into wherever they're transitioning into. So that's kind of where I come from with it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's yeah, well, the love and light is important, and such a, yeah, I think that it is, like you said, that spiritual bypass, it's not all love and light. Like there is that.
It's not.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
It's real, and it's raw, and we talk about wild women and wild women with our wild emotions, but we're not, there's no, it doesn't seem like there's any allowing for us to be our wild, true selves. You know, we're children and we're wild, but we get tamed, and then we take that programming into our adulthood, and we become these tame adults that fit into a ill-adjusted society. We're not a healthy society. Where's health? Where's vibrancy? You know, it's where we're reconnecting to it, where we are learning to rewild. So, you know, when we learn how to rewild and re-express our true innate selves, then we open those pathways of juicy flowing health, and we can't have a compact, neat package that's vibrant and health, because we need to be walking in the mud, literally going and getting our feet dirty as well in the rice fields. Yeah,
absolutely. With the light, and staying in that light, and just trying to avoid any of that being in the mud, you know, trying to be in these, you know, I guess the highest and everything, and just focusing on that. Then, well, there's no grounding in that, so it's just like you're just there to be whooshed around.
Yep.
But I guess that grounding of really the real and raw, and coming into that, like clearing out some of that, going through the mud is clearing away some of that taming, you know, getting rid of all of that stuff. It can be really hard to do that, and part of that rawness and the challenge is that it's not easy. Like it kind of, we start to think that it's us, and trying to then kind of come to that place of what's us and what was part of that conditioning.
Yeah.
Yeah, and to look at some of those places can be confronting.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Confronting is all get out, because our ego minds, they don't understand. They haven't caught up with the breaking. Your ego has to break down in order to create something new, to create a new way of being. So it's lost whilst all this recalibrating is happening. So we have no idea what's going on. And I say that through my experience, because I have been, and probably still am, quite the thinker. I like to understand. Not everybody has that framework that they need, but that's why my process was a pretty cathartic one.
Yeah, and I think this week I've had some more conversations about grief. Something that I talk about a lot, and talking about how, like, I've been, I guess, listening and reading and learning more about grief and different perspectives on it. This amazing man, he's called the Grief Walker in Canada, and he talks about grief. Grief is not an innate thing, it's a skill that we have to learn, and most definitely in the cultures that we're living in, we don't know how to do it, and people are uncomfortable with that real and raw. And so, like, I mean, I've been blessed to be surrounded by amazing people that have just been able to sit with me just falling to pieces. And in that cry that I found after Kai died, and that being so important, and seeing other people that haven't had that opportunity, and that grief process, like, and there is absolutely no time limit on grief. 100%. Grief has its own time, and when we can't actually grieve, like, and really go into that and go into the depth of that pain, which is, oh my God, I have no words. I have no words for the depth of that pain and going there. But I had to go, and I still have to go there. And knowing other people that aren't able to go there, and that actually prolongs the grieving process when they're not able to share that, and to really go there, then that grief can drag on, and there's other things that kind of come in to try and like, I can't get through this. I can't actually fall into that real raw place. So other things have to kind of come in to just help get through.
Yeah, I really, really, gosh, I totally hear everything that you just said. Oh my God. It's I mean, I love the topic of grief, and I find more and more it's something I'm talking about. And I love what you said. It's not something that we embrace. It's not something that we've been taught how to do. And there is absolutely no time limit on it. But it's so transformative, jumping right, peeling off the layers and allowing space for it. Like you said, there's no words, is there? For being right in it. I mean, what the body does while you're in it, the sounds that come from your body, the heat that pours off your physical body, and we're not meant to, I don't think we're meant to understand every iota of being in that place. But it's such a courageous space to step into, And one of the things I was reflecting on your questions that you sent me before this conversation. One of the challenges I find with grieving for me, when sharing with people, when they say, oh, how are you, or what's going on, and when I'm in a grief process, which I have been for the last couple of weeks, I don't have a tangible thing to say. I'm grieving because I'm grieving. I'm grieving the end of a cycle. I'm grieving, not to have that conversation is difficult because it's not accepted. And then really having to, because I am conscious about people's level of awareness and depth of emotion, I have a responsibility of how much I share. Because if I drop into full, I have to hold myself most of the time, right? Because you know, if a person is not available or capable to hold space, or that they're not familiar with that within themselves, so how can they provide that for you or me? Or it's really quite an interesting dance to work with. And I find a lot of the times one of my purposes in life is to introduce the spectrum of emotions to people through my vulnerability and through my truth. And I know that I make people uncomfortable by just verbal diarrhea with whatever it is. How are you? You ask me how I am, I'm going to tell you how I am. Today I'm not great, in whatever tone that comes out in. And you can tell people kind of lock up and they're like, oh, I don't know what to do with that. Okay, well, pat on the back. You'll get through that, love. You'll be right, And it's uncomfortable to hold them often because you feel their discomfort. So whilst we're meant to shine our lights and be authentic in the world, yes, I agree. And picking our moments of responsibility with the individuals we encounter as to what they can handle. And I think about you and your experience that you are going through and are in, with how people would not know what to say, and you would have, it's a tricky dance.
Yeah, and I think one of the things that I thought of today as well, when I was feeling quite raw, like there is that, I guess the responsibility of what another person can handle, but there's also that protection of yourself, that putting yourself out there and then being completely, some things that people have said, and there was, there was nothing that I could really do because, I see someone and my baby's died, like that's just there. But things that people said, and it just was just like, couldn't get my head around. I think now it is, there's that discernment in, is this, how am I feeling within myself? If I put that out there and they can't hold this, am I going to be able to be okay in myself? And also, it's not about, fully challenging people, but it's like, I guess there's little, kind of the little crumbs that you can drop to start to bring more of that realness. And like when people ask you how are you, and they just, like, everybody thinks, oh yeah, I'm good, or yeah, fine, or yeah, good, thanks, or whatever. It's just that automatic response. And when you start to actually say really how you are, people are like, what just happened?
They're not prepared for it. We're conditioned to just say, yeah, good, I'm good, thanks, and I still do it. We do. Yeah, absolutely.
It's such a and I think that what you started with talking about, like learning that language, that language of our bodies, that our own language
Mm.
is such an important
Oh,
piece of going there, and what am I being told? What do I need to do? And what's safe for me at the
yep,
moment
yep.
in this vulnerable space? And yeah, something that I wanted to say was this space, this group, is a space to be that. I mean, I've my puppy.
I can
I've
see.
been.
Mine's around somewhere. Molly.
Yeah, mine's. Yeah, being in, like, I guess the group was there before Kai died, and then how
Yeah.
amazing the group's been in being there for me and supporting me through, you know, the hardest thing I've ever gone through, and
Yeah.
just allowing me to be in the depth of it. Yeah, and knowing that you're there as well, and be your own guru.
Mm.
That space is there for people to go and,
Yeah.
yeah, like, even, yeah, you are helping teach that skill, you know, just
Mm.
by living it.
Mm. Yeah, thank you. And it's something that I mean, we're all constantly, we never fully know what we're doing, right? We're making it up day by day. What am I doing today? We all just admit that. I don't know what I'm doing.
Why can't we all just say that?
I know. I have no flipping idea what I'm doing. So every day I'm like, what is be your own guru? And it might just be what I'm inspired to write about that day or post about. And it's just been this really slow, step-by-step slog of just showing up to what I'm present to in each moment. And I used to get overwhelmed by thinking I needed to define it. And bam, it's there. It's a thing. Ready, let's go. Off we go. I know what I'm doing. And it's not. It's every day, these little tiny chunks. And then eventually those tiny chunks group up to be like a bigger chunk. And then be your own guru is a thing. And I now have friends say to me, I love be your own guru. I love what you're doing. And I'm like, wow, really? Like, is it really becoming a thing? And that's cool. And I still don't really know, you know. When I showed up to do these talks the other week, I was like, far out, what am I going to say? What am I going to, everybody already knows what I know. This is what I think in my head that everybody already knows. And so I find myself saying, you already know, everything's already within you. I'm not here to tell you anything new. You'll be listening to me and your head will be going, yep, know that, know that, know that. So I go, I'm just reminding you, here's my mirror. Come back in, come back in, come back in. And so that kind of helps me, because I'm not trying to be a teacher or tell anybody anything they don't already know. It's just, as you said, it's something that I totally embody now. So because I now embody it, I don't see it as a thing. And but I guess that's the best place to teach from, because all my wisdom and knowledge is integrated here. I'm not trying to remember that bit from that book and all that bit from that blog or that bit from my course. Everything that I speak about, I've used them as like tools or resources for my own mud walking and ecstatic moments of being, that they just, when I'm talking in a conversation, whatever I need to share drops in like inspiration. I go, oh, okay, there's that story. Oh, there's that tool. And the more and more I trust that, it's only moment by moment by moment, and it's unfolding, that I know what I need to do. That's crazy. Good reminder to
Yes.
me.
Yes. Yes. And like, I love that, my mud walking. I love that term is just awesome. I love that.
Or sometimes not walking. I'm stuck. I'm literally
Rolling.
stuck in the mud. And nothing is happening, and I'm just wailing, like literally, like, ah! And if that's what shows up, that's what shows up. I'll eat some
Yes.
chocolate, have a cup of tea, and just be where I'm at.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think and again, it doesn't really matter, but I'm pretty sure it was Gandhi that said, "My life is my message," and that is what you are, living.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. My life is my message. It's not about a fixed thing. Okay, here's my book. There's my message.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah. And when your life is your message, and when be your own guru is it's about being your own guru. So it's that process of living is the message that you're sharing out there, and that it's not going to be a static thing. You're not a static thing. That changes. So, of course, what you're putting out into the world is going to change.
Absolutely. Yeah, moment to moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Wow.
beautiful. Sister, I'm so glad we got to have you on here. Like, I could have sat and ranted for ages, but
Yeah.
I needed to hear this, and I know our sisters out there, they needed to hear this. So thank you so much for showing up, for trying to get here with us.
I was just, trying. And oh my God, thank you, Megan, for the light that you are in the world and holding such beautiful sacred space within this group, right? I think it's so important because we're living in such isolation at times, right? And so using the medium that is this online resource and having these conversations, I think are just so powerful. Like you said in the beginning of the talk, it's time to share our voices. It's time to support this planet and align to her needs, because we can't go out there and exhaust ourselves. It's about every individual person choosing conscious choices to support the planet, which is, why we do what we do, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Is there anything else that you would like to share with our sisters? Anything else about Be Your Own Guru that you wanted to share with us?
Oh, look, I'm in complete transparency right now. I don't have anything going on right now other than I have just completely finished editing my ebook, which is called Transform Your Thoughts, Transform Your Life. And it is about 6 tools within it that support conscious reflection and working with your thoughts to literally transform your perception of life, which in turn transforms your outer reality. So I'm just currently looking to get that converted into a Kindle reader. But so that's in the process of happening. I do have it on a bit of a no-name website at the moment called Gumroad, and maybe I can share that link.
Yeah,
or if anybody's interested in that, I can share that somehow. And then I'm offering my one-on-one sessions. So that's where I'm at right now.
Beautiful. Yeah, well, if you share a link and stuff into the group, that would be wonderful. And thank you again so much for showing up and for sharing your journey and your wisdom. And it's so nice to see. It's just like Bali, just there.
I intentionally sat outside because I wanted to share. Oops, the I don't know if you can see much of my background. Yeah, like there's my pool. It's so cold right now. I don't even want to go swimming. But yeah, Bali. We do love Bali. This magical island that it is. Oh my God. Yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you, Megan. Thank you so much for having me. It's been such a joy to talk to you about such a heavy topic. Isn't that a paradox?
Yes. Yes, isn't it? And just it's it's so needed. These conversations are so needed, and finding those sisters that you can have. I just had one yesterday and we were sitting there like, we should be filming this. This is amazing. And
absolutely.
Yeah.
I think more and more these authentic conversations should and need to arise rather than the perfectly manicured ones. There's a place for those, don't get me wrong, but we're real people dealing with real backdrops. I know I'm in Bali, but I'm freaking, got no money and I'm in the mud. So let's just be real. I haven't got Instagram photos of my smoothie bowls and, my, I don't know. I'll just tell it how it is. Yeah,
absolutely. And so next week we are going to be joined by the beautiful Kate Lucas, and she is joining us from, her beautiful work is coming from Energetic Empowerment. Yes, and so she's going to be joining us next week, which I'm really excited about. One of our other sisters has had to postpone until later, which is wonderful. And I guess that's kind of another thing to think about if you're worried about, if you kind of say, I'd like to be in one of these conversations. If you need to kind of go, I can't do it, that's okay. Honor that. But yeah, the space is here for you to share and to talk about whatever that message is, like to talk about a cause that you care about, to talk about work that you're doing, to talk about processes that are working for you. Being real and raw. So thank you all so much for being here, and thank you, Heidi, and I look forward to joining you all again next week.
Oh, so does Alfie.
I need to go and let my partner in. He's knocking at the door. We only have one key, so I've got to let him in. So thank you guys.
Bye.
Much love. Bye.
Bye now.
Bye.